What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great Sunday. And, of course, I hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 startup mock draft for the 2023 Dynasty Fantasy Football season. We will be hopping into a 12-man startup mock tonight. No third-round reversal, 3 wide receivers, tight end premium, super flex format. So super excited to be here with you guys. You know what to do, man. Hit that like button on the way in. Of course, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football topics, redraft, dynasty, or best ball, any fantasy football topics whatsoever, throw them in the live chat. Let's get it popping. We're going to talk some fantasy football tonight. We're going to have some fun. So we've got one spot open. We've had some people kind of coming and going for various reasons tonight. But nonetheless, the link is in the chat for you guys on YouTube. And, of course, it's been on Discord for a while. So somebody take the final spot. And then I'm going to send out one last... Let's see, one last warning here. I'm just gonna say we're starting now, and that'll get everyone in here right away. But we're gonna wait for this this last spot to fill. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, I don't see any reason to waste any time. Let's get it going. We've got mostly green dots across the board, so let me click a couple things and let's go. Let's kick it off. All right, so not anything relevant that we need to go over from a fantasy standpoint in terms of news or from an NFL standpoint. I mean, yeah, there's nothing happening right now. So, yeah, nothing to touch on there. So, we'll see what we get into tonight. Let me try and make this first selection here. And then we'll move right along. Speezy, you're on the clock, my guy. All right, let's see who's in the chat. Taylor, what's going on, man? Appreciate you letting someone else take your spot for the night. And, yeah, just so you guys know, what I'm going to start doing, right, is you guys will know ahead of time if, you know, essentially what I'm going to do. Okay, I don't know what happened with that, Speezy, but you're getting Josh Allen. But I'm going, oh gosh, that is not what I meant to do at all. No, I was going Burrow there. Sorry. I feel like the start of this draft has been so lopsided. After I hit change the pick for Speezy, it just like gave me Fields. That was really weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right? So we have League 1, League 2, okay? League 1 is not playing third-round reversal. You guys voted on that. League 2 is playing with third-round reversal. I guess drafting in third-round reversal, I should say. You guys voted on that as well. So what I'm going to start doing is we're just going to rotate each night. Let's say we start tomorrow night, hypothetically, right? League 1 will get the invite like 5 to 6 hours before anyone else does. And it'll just be set to a mock draft that does not include third round reversal. After a couple hours, after it's been posted, after everyone's been made aware on Discord, I will then, you know, as we're leading up to starting the stream for the night, I will send out the mock invite to everyone on Discord and everyone in all the sleeper leagues as well. Then the next night, we'll just rotate. We'll move to league number 2. We'll make it a third round reversal mock draft. And League 2 will have access to the invite before anyone else. Once it's been posted for a couple hours, we'll post it on Discord as we're leading up to the stream and get, you know, the rest of the spots filled in. But that way, overall, everyone has an opportunity to draft from their respective spots in their respective leagues with their respective draft settings. And I think that'll help kind of alleviate some of the, I don't know, just the uncertainty that people are having and not being able to practice from their spot or with their specific format. So, should clear things up a bit. All right, Nick, what's going on? Cinnabon, what's up? What's up? What's up, Speezy? How we doing, man? Thomas, what's going on, man? Hope everyone's doing great. Albert, what's going on, man? Hello, hello. How was everyone's weekend? Let me know, man. I had a pretty good weekend, but my weekend started today. My weekends are Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays when I'm off work. So, ooh, where do I want to go with this next pick? Kyle's gone. All right, give me Bryce Young. Pray I appreciate you letting someone take a spot as well. John, I'm pretty sure you don't post the mock on announcements. It feels mad slow. Yes, I mean, what I've been trying to do for the startup mocks is send them out to our respective Dynasty leagues first, which I feel like not everyone has sleeper notifications on, which I don't blame you, because as much as I like Sleeper as an app, the notifications can be like really, really OD sometimes. So I feel like that definitely impacts things a bit. Where do I want to go with this pick? I mean, I want to go receiver right here. Part of me wants to take a quarterback, though. I mean, Prescott's sitting right here and just finish it up for the night. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. That annoys me because it says I have 5 seconds. And like I'm going to utilize those entire 5 seconds. And then it just cuts me off and gives me Kenneth Walker. I mean, I was going to take London or Smith or Prescott. So, okay. Rest of the night, I will be on point making my selections right away. Jeez, I am ruining the draft for the night. But yeah, Pray, that might be why these move a little bit slower, is because I try to make sure everyone who's actually in the Dynasty leagues has an opportunity to get into the draft before those of you guys who are not in the Dynasty leagues have an opportunity to do so. Let's see. Yeah, Cats, I mean, it's a fair point. That's kind of been the one thing that's been holding me back just a little bit from sending out the invite super early, is in the past we've done that. Like there have been times in the summer where I would send out the invite like 8 hours early for the first mock draft of the night, and I feel like every single time we had at least one person not show up. So that is something that I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt, because I know a lot of you guys, like you guys are serious about the Dynasty leagues and you want to be, present for these mocks and present with your respective settings and drafting from your respective first round selections. So I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt to start, and if we start to run into different issues as time goes along, then we'll see what we can work out. I don't know, but I'm just gonna trust you guys, and we'll go from there. Spencer's in the house. What's up, bro? Thomas, glad you got to get in the draft tonight as well, my guy. Going to the Mariners game tomorrow. That should be fun. Hockey team's playing right now. I don't know what the score is. Boxing Jack, what's going on, man? Going for a weird strat tonight. Okay, we'll see what happens. Sick Nasty's in the house. What's up, my guy? This is a super flex draft, yes, sir. Walito, what's up, man? Do we do non-super flex drafts, regular Dynasty drafts? So one quarterback drafts. Those are coming. Those are coming. But also, of course, any format you guys ever want to practice with, you guys can throw out on Discord. And we'll get it going at some point. But yes, if you guys play in single quarterback leagues, those are coming, I promise. All right, I'm going to try going hero running back again tonight and see what happens. So we'll take Eckler right here. Let's see. Yeah, Dynasty. I am going to start running some single quarterback Dynasty mocks. So if you're interested in joining those in the future, make sure you join the Discord down below. All right. Here we are. A hero RB build. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got some interesting teams forming. We got Speezy with 3 running backs. We got Walito with 3 receivers. I don't know. I'm not going to comment. I don't want to. I don't want to put anyone on the spot. But there's some other teams forming in interesting ways out there right now. All right, any news you guys have heard? Anything that's come up for you guys? I feel like today was, you had a lot of NBA action, a lot of hockey action as well. I just feel like we're in that quiet point for the NFL. Denver-Phoenix game was crazy. It's a good series so far. All right, I feel like I have to go receiver right here, so I'll take Ayuk off the board, which is kind of insulting because Debo's available, but I'll take Ayuk. Age 25 going into his 4th season versus Debo at age 27 going into his 5th season. It's crazy, man. Sometimes, like, number of years played, just, well, I don't know when Ayuk's birthday is, so we'll see. Yeah, Quentin Johnson sitting there as well, kind of intriguing. But I feel like London at age 21, I'm okay with as being my youngest receiver on this squad so far. Cinnabon says always stacking with Tua and Waddle. I like it. Looks good to me. Walito, heard the Chiefs view Tony as their wide receiver 1, so I did see that as well. And, there was a report earlier in the season that kind of alluded to that as well. And, I think that's fine. But overall, Travis Kelce is still the wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs, right? And, but yeah, they're kind of trying to replace the Tyreek Hill role of a wide receiver who can stretch the field, go over the top, make those big plays, right? And at the end of the day, like, there's not, I don't know. Last year, there wasn't truly a wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs. I guess Juju was the closest thing possible, right? But I would love to see that. I'd love to see a healthy Kadarius Toney play very well with the Chiefs. We'll see what happens, though. Spence redraft's going to be in full effect during the later months of summer. 100%. Yeah. Thomas 2-0. Kraken's up. Man, they're playing very well in this series. I feel like, man, like this. If you guys are into hockey, like I just feel like the entire playoffs is so open right now. Could be anyone. I thought the Canes were starting to look really strong again, and they just got embarrassed today. So I don't even know, man. Same with the Maple Leafs, like a really good team, lost today. I don't know. All right, into the 6th round we go. So let's look at a couple players across the board here. Let's look at the 5th round. Michael Pittman going at 5.11. Calvin Ridley going at 5.8. Which player would you rather have? Ridley. Oh, hold on. Let's do it this way. Ridley, age 28, going into his 6th season. We've got T-Lock, quarterback. We know that. Then we got Michael Pittman, age 25, going into his 4th season. They're starting to be a little bit of concern from some fantasy managers out there. Not everyone, but some who are worried about Michael Pittman with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Him being a mobile quarterback. Similar to, like, if you're worried about DJ Moore's productivity with Fields at quarterback, right? Which I'm not personally, but I don't know. I think Pittman will probably be okay. Like, there's two ways to look at it, right? Like, yes, less volume, less targets overall, but he doesn't. I don't know. Like, there's still more upside, I think, because when we look at the quarterback play for the Colts over, Pittman's career, it hasn't been awful. But at the end of the day, like, Carson Wentz, Phillip Rivers, Nick Foles, Matt Ryan, like, players that weren't bringing a ceiling from a fantasy perspective. But with that being said, like, if you're of the belief that Richardson brings them down, because there are managers out there who believe that Richardson is going to take time to develop as a passer, obviously, and that he could be a very poor passer at times in his rookie season. And if you're worried about that, Pittman has been your wide receiver 20 and wide receiver 17 in the last two seasons. Still had 503 receiving yards and 1 score in his rookie season with very bad quarterback play. So, I don't know. All right, let me make this selection. Oh. Tough pick right here. I'm going to go receiver. I'll go Hollywood, but Hopkins is right there too. It's just like it's very close for me. Very close for me. But I'll take the younger guy. It's super close. I feel like Nick Chubb at 7.5 is like beautiful. All right, Walker still going in round three question mark. Yeah, right at the end at 3.12. I know Thomas was excited about that being a Seahawks fan, but yeah, at the moment Walker still pushed back a bit. Where earlier in the season, or off season, I should say, he was going like right around the Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey area. So I think as the offseason continues to progress, eventually Walker's ADP will move up a little bit. Thomas, high score, and never really been in hockey, to be honest, till last year. I still don't know any players' names. Yeah, I feel like hockey is one of the sports you can enjoy not really knowing like anything about the teams you're watching. Walito says, I'd rather have Pittman. Cinnabon picked Ridley since I already have Chase and Waddle, but I just don't trust Pittman. Fair enough. Spence, not worried about Pittman at all. He's done well with bad quarterbacks his entire career. If Richardson plays decent, he will be in the 20-ish range again. Yeah. Kind of just a player that continues to be like a good value year after year. A good flex option who can bring you a consistent floor, but the ceiling just hasn't been there. So the question is, like, does he remain at his floor with Anthony Richardson, or does he gain that ceiling to get some upside? We'll have to see. Oh, they scored again. Let's go, Thomas. Catch, what do you make of the report that the Commanders tried to lure Andrew Luck out of retirement? I did see that. I make nothing of it. I feel like every year somebody is calling Andrew Luck up and trying to convince him to come out of retirement. I don't think he has any interest whatsoever in coming out of retirement. So, when you look at the quarterback play last year, quite frankly, it wasn't the worst. It was not good. But with what they had on the roster, I feel like there wasn't really any reason to try and go out and get a player like Andrew Luck. Like, it would just make things even more confusing and up and down. So it was interesting to see that for sure. But it's nothing that, like, really means much to me, to be honest. But I do love Andrew Luck. So it would have been cool to see him, I guess. Thomas, I don't think it's pushing it for Kenneth Walker. I really don't. 3.12 I think is fine. Ooh, I don't know where I want to go right here. I'll go Pacheco. A couple players available that I really like right now, though. Cinnabon, I used to watch hockey when the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Haven't watched and don't plan to with all the guys gone now. Yeah, definitely a very different world right now for the Blackhawks. Who would you guys want Dynasty, DeAndre Swift or Rashad White? I feel like just with injury history, Rashad White. I mean, I know that Swift gets the bump going to the Eagles and everything, but I just feel like when we're looking at Rashad White, who's age 24, going into his second season, that's a positive compared to DeAndre Swift at age 24 going into his fourth season. So it is interesting. Same age, but far less tread on the tires for White compared to Swift. And then Swift also just with the injury history, you know. So, and honestly, like Swift hasn't missed that many games when we look at the last 3 years, but it's just the uncertainty. Like the question marks on a weekly basis when your player has questionable next to his name, doubtful next to his name, on a consistent basis, it takes a toll on his fantasy manager. So, overall, I'm going to lean Rashad White, but I think White is certainly the floor play. Swift brings the upside, but I think Swift is more of a short-term play compared to White being a better long-term play. I kind of want to take Swift right here. But it's a 3 wide receiver format. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett. A lot of players I really like available right now, though. Yeah, Katz goes with Swift. I mean, Swift, I do, like I will say, I feel like Swift as like an RB3 is just really, really nice. Really nice. Spence, if Richardson plays well, Pittman can easily be a top 10 wide receiver for years to come. 100%. Cinnabon didn't mean to pick Monty. Well, you got your former Bears player. But yeah, a couple other running backs available. Go get A-Chain. I like it. Wow, cracking up 4-0. Let's go, Thomas. Do you think the Niners will have the same quarterbacks beginning of season, or will they move one? Ooh, it's a good question. I think it makes the most sense for them to just keep Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. Darnold's really the only one like they're paying a premium for, which I know sounds weird, but Purdy on a very cheap contract, Trey Lance also on a very cheap contract. So I just think it makes the most sense to have both options, especially when you look at what happened last season in the playoffs when they were down to like essentially no one at quarterback. So I think it just makes the most sense for them to hold on to the players they have. And I do think the other aspect for me is if they were already going to move Trey Lance, I think it would have happened before the draft. But don't get me wrong, it certainly could happen afterwards now that teams are kind of adjusting their overall rosters, and there are going to be more moves throughout the offseason. So I don't know. But I think there was more likelihood of it happening before during the draft than after, but I could be completely wrong on that. And I won't be surprised necessarily if they want to try and move him, but I just think it makes the most sense for them to keep Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, and I think that's what they're going to do, personally. Let's see. Purdy doesn't even count against their cap. That's how cheap his contract is. Yeah. 100%. All right. Into the 10th round. I feel like we are drafting super fast tonight. Was I and Brian Robinson pretty heavy right there. Once again, a lot of players available right now that I like. Interested to see where you guys go right here. So far in the 10th round, mostly running backs off the board. Charbs, Jones, Robinson, Cook, Tajay Spears. There goes Cole Kmet. Josh Downs gone at 10.2. There goes Purdy. I'm going to go Condre Miller here. Kendre Miller. I don't know why I always say Condre. Thomas, the way my team is built, I probably shouldn't have drafted Charbonnet because I only have one starter from another team. It's hard to pass. Wouldn't make it back. Thoughts? I mean, I think one thing that's important is to really look at your board and draft for value. So if you think Charb's the best available player, I think it's perfectly fine to get him. And you're right. He would have not lasted till 11.12. And, like, the fact that you have Walker gives you the handcuff scenario now, which is a good thing for sure. So I'm not against it. I'm not against it. J-Dubs, what's going on, my guy? How we doing? Hello, hello. Good to see you in the house tonight, man. Appreciate you drafting with us. Yeah, I really wanted to see if Jaden Reed would fall out here. It's a good pick by Speezy. I almost went with Reed over Lockett. Man, there are two players that I really like available right here. I'm going to go A.J. Dillon. Wasn't who I was planning on going with, but I'm going to go with Dillon. Okay, guys, I have to actually run downstairs very, very, very quickly. So, J-Dub, Cinnabon, you're in charge. Give me, literally 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. We forgot to get more milk today. And the baby needs milk in the morning. So, I had to DoorDash milk. It is here. It is in the fridge. We are good to go. Cinnabon is in charge. He now runs the channel. Cats, I can't pass up Njoku in the 11th. I would agree it's pretty good value. Okay, oh gosh. Oh gosh, who am I going to draft? Greg D. Let's do it. No, not a potty break. I'm very, very good. I learned pretty early on. You know, I've been live streaming like at least 5 days a week for quite some time now, so I'm very proactive about that before I stream. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna get caught up here. Why is everyone fading tight ends and tight end premium? You know, it's a good question. It does happen to me quite a bit. And that's one thing I want to start to try to balance out. Like, I just end up going so heavy at receiver on a consistent basis. You know, trying to see how a hero RB build looks tonight. But I just, like, even right now, looking at my wide receivers in London, Ayuk, Brown, Lockett, like, I'm just not as happy when, like, I load up at the position. It's tough. Yeah, it's interesting. When I set up the mocks, there's no way for me to specify that it's tight end premium or for that to be reflected in the rankings. All I can really pick is Dynasty 2 quarterbacks is the setting I can set it to. All right, I'm going to go receiver here. There's actually 2 players I wouldn't mind taking here. But I'm going to go with the Lizard Man, and I'll take Allen Lazard off the board. Still, oh, by the way, guys, I didn't mean to mention at the beginning of the stream, we have 8 bench spots as opposed to 10. So just keep that in mind while you guys are drafting tonight. I love Kamara in the 11th. You know, I really don't mind him at that point either. But I really like to get a clearer picture of his situation. But, yeah, I feel like we talk about this like almost every night. Like, Joe Mixon, Kamara, even Dalvin Cook, like, who doesn't have a legal situation going on, I should say. You know, like, you're just playing the hypothetical if you draft him right now. Like, if you draft Kamara in the 11th and even in a dynasty format, and he only gets suspended 6 games, like, then that's probably pretty good for your team. If you're playing the hypothetical that he doesn't play this year and you pass on him in the 11th, then that makes sense as well, you know? Brian, I am at the 8.2 in startup, Superflex, full PPR. My only running back is Rachaad White. The following are on the board: Aaron Jones, Charbs, Brian Robinson, Connor, Monty, James Cook. Who do I take? I mean, part of me wants to say go Charbs, believe it or not. So it depends, Brian. Are you in a situation, are you drafting, it is a startup, okay. The long-term pieces here are Charbs, Brian Robinson, James Cook. The short-term pieces are Aaron Jones, James Conner, David Montgomery. So you have Rachaad White. You have a long-term piece already. Do you want to add an additional long-term piece, or do you want to add a short-term piece? And I do think that Jones, Monty, to a degree, Connor, can offer you more points right away, but Charbs, Brian Robinson, James Cook for the long term are the better selections. It's tough. I want to get your guys' feedback on that in the chat. So Brian's question right there. Only running back is Rachaad White. Coming up on the 8.2 in the startup. Aaron Jones, Charbs, Brian Robinson, James Conner, Monty, James Cook. Who would you guys take? And, like, to a degree, I guess the rest of your roster is somewhat important. just to see like how many win now pieces do you have, how much youth do you have on your team, all that stuff. But probably not the end of the world if you don't know. So if you're already in the 8th round, I might seriously go Charbs. I'd probably go. My favorite win now piece is Aaron Jones. My favorite long-term piece is Charbs. My second favorite win now piece is Monty. My second favorite long-term piece is Brian Robinson. Third favorite short-term piece is Connor. Third favorite long-term piece is James Cook. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Give me Gainwell, please. That might be my last running back for tonight. Yeah. We only have 8 bench spots, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can live with that. Yeah, Brian, any other input you have there? Anything else? And just in general, Brian, what are your thoughts? Like, how are you feeling and what direction you should go with the pick? Cinnabon, I like James Cook, but if there's a better player available than those guys, I would just take them and hope one of your favorite falls. That's I'm not completely against that as well. Like if you're at the 8.2, I mean, yeah, it's a 12-man. You said. Oh, you didn't specify. I mean, if you're at the 8.2, you don't draft again until the 9.11. There is a likelihood. I mean, there's a lot of draft picks before you select again. So there's a likelihood that one of them falls out. There's a likelihood that none of them falls out. It's tough. I mean, it depends on how many running backs have already been taken and everything. All right, I'm taking one of 2 players right here. But there is a third player I like a lot right here as well. I'll go Rashid Shaheed, though. All right, let me get caught up here. Justin says, Charb, keep fading running back. Thomas says, Charbs. I will look at wide receivers, probably better options, better to draft, best available. Brian says my wide receivers are DK, Diggs, Judy Dotson, and in a 12-team league. Okay. Mahomes and Deshaun at quarterback. Receiver looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not against the wide receiver room. Plus, you should be able to identify some good value. I mean, yeah, just out of curiosity, Brian, I mean, let us know some of the other players at like wide receiver, tight end available. You're fine at quarterback. Fine at quarterback. You can take a dart throw at the end of your draft if you want, but yeah, you're in a good position there. So I don't know if it's tight end premium or not. That could matter, I guess. But you might want to consider some wide receivers. But if you only have one running back and you really personally feel like that is the direction you need to go, then I would say you probably should go that direction. I mean, I don't think you're really making a bad decision. I'd probably leave James Conner off the list because of the injury history. And I like James Conner a lot as a player, but I just think from a dynasty perspective, as your RB2, when there are players like Aaron Jones and David Montgomery available, I like those guys better. I feel pretty queasy about James Cook. And I do think that Cook has the strongest likelihood to actually fall out, probably right next to James Conner. And I think I understand why people like James Cook. And he is tied to the Buffalo Bills, and Devin Singletary is now off that squad. Although Damien Harris is on that squad now. But unless something just drastically changes with the Bills' offense, I don't know. From a fantasy perspective, the running back volume does not translate well. Brian Robinson's on Washington, so I don't really trust him because I don't trust Washington players. But I do like Brian Robinson, and he is young, you know. But I really think for me it comes down to Aaron Jones, Charbs, or Monty. And the best long-term, I would put it for long-term value, Charbs, Monty, Jones. For short-term value, Jones, Monty, Charbs. So but James Cook is a pass catcher, and he's alone in the backfield. That's why I like him. I mean, that's fair. Like I said, I understand why people like him, but I just worry about how the Bills end up using him. And, I mean, he only had 32 targets last season, 21 receptions for 180 receiving yards. So I think Damian Harris will just literally be what Devin Singletary has been. But I get it. I do like Cook to a degree, don't get me wrong. But with those other options on the board, I would go with them. Brian, we've got Ayuk, Hollywood. These are players who are available on the board. Ayuk, Hollywood, Brown, Cooper. It's not tight end premium, but Mayer, Waller, Laporta, Dolchich available at tight end. We appreciate your question, Brian. I'm glad we're here to give you some input. But I don't know. Ayuk is pretty intriguing. As Hollywood Brown and Amari Cooper are definitely not intriguing. You could have a pretty loaded wide receiver room if you really wish it. But I think if you really want to go running back right there, short-term piece, Aaron Jones, long-term piece, Charbonnet. But at the end of the day, Brian, always, always, always trust your gut. Could start 5 wide receivers. Okay. So you've got DK Diggs, Judy Dotson. 3 flex positions. Okay. You know, in a startup draft, Brian, I really don't mind fading the running back position. And I actually think that Rachaad White, barring any injury, is in a really good position to be a lead back for some time. With Ayuk there, though, I really like Ayuk right now. So I definitely consider him. And I do think you have a likelihood. I mean, if there are a lot of teams who need running backs, a couple of these guys are going to go. But you do have somewhat of a likelihood that one of those players falls out to you at your next selection. So definitely trust your gut. Okay, where am I going to go with this next pick? It's pretty thin out here. Jeez, I'll just take Tyler Boyd. I mean, guys have ate up all. I don't even know how we made it through 10 bench spots before. I almost went Zach Evans there. But I feel like I need to get some more receivers before the night ends. I've got Kendre Miller in my flex right now. Cracking her up 5-1. Holy smokes. How much time is left in that game? Jeez, there's still an entire... This is like the Canes game earlier. Yeah, a lot of good series going on right now, man. Doug, I got... There's a neck crack for you. That's all I've got right now. All right, I feel like tonight's mock went like super fast, but we're on pace for a normal time. I don't know. All right, we'll see how this final round shapes out. Then we'll start doing some team reviews. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to queue up couple players here. Rookie receivers are basically gone. Really no one to look at there. Oh, receivers in general are basically gone. I guess DJ Chark, Hunter Renfrow, Curtis Samuel, there's some names. Hardman. Those guys still get drafted. Don't make me do it, guys. Don't make me end the stream this way. Don't make me do it. I'll do it. Don't make me do it, cats. Give me Zeke. Oh gosh, I feel like this team. I feel like I don't know. We'll see how it turned out. Doug, stop it. All right. If you guys want team reviews, let me know. I know some of you guys were asking early. Okay, I'll do Cinnabon first. All right. Two a time. Dangerous. Sorry, I'm messing with my mic. The hooker and Baker. Did Baker have a nickname? I woke up feeling dangerous. Did he ever have like a real nickname? Quarterback room looks fine, I guess. Relying on Tua and Russell right away. Get Baker as a placeholder if you need one. See what happens with Hooker. Pitts and Fant, good at that. Monty, which you said was accidental. A-Chain, Cook. Brown, Warren. Yeah, I'm good at that. Chase, Waddle, Ridley, D-Hop, Juju, Tyler Scott. I like that pick in the 15th. And Osborne. So you're starting Tua, throwing Dangerous. In your super flex, we got Pitts, of course. Monty and probably A-Chain. Monty and Cook, we'll say to start the year, Monty and Cook. Chase, Waddle, Ridley, very good there. Flexing D-Hop, flexing Juju, but you've got A-Chain, Chase Brown. Both those guys could have roles. Scott and Osborne, your only receivers on the bench. Jalen Warren, a good handcuff piece. Two quarterbacks on the bench. Noah Fant on the bench. Okay, I mean, I like this team. I think this team's okay. Might be going for some more youth at the receiver position, just with guys like Ridley, D-Hop, Juju. But, I mean, you got Scott. Osborne's going to have an opportunity to prove himself. Or he might just still be a wide receiver 3. We'll find out. Could very, very well be the case, obviously, after the draft with Addison there. But Chase and Waddle kind of help. I mean, those are your staple pieces, right? You got the stack with Tua. I guess pretty good team. How'd you feel about it tonight, man? All right, Walito at the 1.10. We got Lamar, Carr, Stafford. I mean, you get your guy. Lamar's your guy. And then you've got your two super flex guys in Carr and Stafford. You're going to be drafting a rookie quarterback sooner rather than later. Waller, Laporta, Otten. I love the tight end room. Javonte, Cook, Aaron Jones, Dwayne McBride, Jerick McKinnon. I'm actually okay with that running back room. Yeah, a little bit win now, but I like it. A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, JSN, Godwin, McLaurin, Tillman, Thomas. Beautiful wide receiver room. So you're starting Lamar, super flexing Carr, starting Cook and Jones, starting Brown, Hill, JSN, flexing Godwin, flexing McLaurin, starting Waller. I mean, this team definitely has a little bit of a win now aspect to it, but you have some nice, like, young pieces. I mean, like I said, Lamar's your guy at quarterback for the time being, probably next 5 years at least. You got Laporta at tight end, McBride at running back, Javonte at running back, JSN, Tillman at receiver, Brown still young enough. McKinnon, a great value in the 18th. Good tight end depth. I mean, quarterback's really the only issue I have with this team. Like, just long-term with Carr and staph infection. But I like the rest of this team a lot, man. It's a great draft. Boss man. We got Mahomes and Geno. And yeah, who? Jaron Hall. I mean, I guess Packers. The Vikings did draft him this year, so. Could come in and compete. Do you, I mean, really, when you look at the quarterbacks available, like, I can't really knock you for going that route. But is this actually a player that you believe has a chance to compete for that spot if and when Cousins is no longer the guy? Mayer, Musgrave, 2 rookie tight ends, but I like both those guys at the moment a lot. Etienne, Pollard, Connor, Jamal, Deuce Vaughn. I can work with that. Higgins, Diggs, Debo, Mingo, Rice, Cook, Sutton, Shakir. I love this receiver room. Yeah. I love that you finished out with Shakir. You got the 2 rookies in the middle and like 2 veterans that don't look very pretty but could easily be very productive for the next year or 2. So you're starting Mahomes, superflexing Geno, starting Mayer, starting Etienne and Pollard, starting Higgins, Diggs, Debo. And your flex, I mean, you got Mingo and Rice, James Conner, you got Cook. I mean, it could very well be Brandon Cooks and Cortland Sutton, but you also have Connor, Jamal Williams, and Mingo and Rice. So, yeah. Looks pretty solid to me, man. I think it's a pretty good draft. Box and the Jack. What's up, my guy? We got Stroud, Danny Dimes, mac and cheese. I'm okay with that. I mean, Mac Jones, like, starts to kind of burn out. Stroud has growing pains, and Danny Dimes doesn't perform. You could have some issues here, but I'm okay with it. Kittle, Freiermuth, Irv Smith. I mean, I don't personally think you needed to draft Irv Smith, but if you felt like he was the best available player, that's fine. Tight end looks good, though. Tajay Spears, Kamara, Harris, Gibson, Izzy, Gray. I'm okay with that. I mean, didn't go running back till the 10th, so all things considered, I think it's okay. JJ Olave, J-Mo, Flowers, kind of scary. Claypool and Zay Jones. Okay, I can work with that. So, starting Danny Dimes and Mac Jones. So we'll see what happens with Stroud. Could very well replace one of those guys. Starting Kittle. If he's not around, you're starting Freiermuth. Starting Harrison Gibson. Let's say Kamara's not around. I mean, that's just the only thing here is like running back is a little shaky for me. Like, I think Harris, Gibson, Kamara are all fine values. Even Izzy's a fine value in the 14th and Spears in the 10th. But you just have to admit, like, there's some shakiness. Committee in Buffalo, committee in Washington. How much volume are Gray and Izzy going to get if other players don't get hurt? What is Kamara's situation? And what in the world is Tennessee going to do at running back? So, definitely some question marks there. But yeah, let's say you're starting Jones and Jones, Kittle, Harrison Gibson, JJ Olave, Flowers, and then even then, like, you're going to have J-Mo on the bench for 6 games. So you're probably starting Zay Jones, hopefully Kamara, but if not, Claypool. So I do think your flex is kind of hurt right now. Semi-queasy at quarterback, but that doesn't upset me as much as running back. So once J-Mo's back, that's going to help a lot, though, for sure. And Kamara as well. But yeah, some question marks here and there. Cats. Oh, there you are. What'd you do tonight, man? Herbie, Kyler, Purdy, Garoppolo. I can live with that, and I like that you got Garoppolo because obviously Kyler's going to miss some time, and then Purdy could miss time too. But it looks fine to me. Mandrews, Hawkinson, and Njoku, just a stupid tight end room. JT Chubb, Swift, Zach Evans. I mean, you only got 4 running backs in a real draft. You have a little bit more room to work with, but you got 4 good running backs at good value. Addison, Deontay, Elijah Moore, DPJ, Collins, Hodgins, Gallup. Like, all these guys are fine where you took them, but you have to admit that wide receiver is the weakest part of this team. The team is very, very good, except wide receivers is a little bit lacking. Not a crazy high ceiling involved with these guys. A lot of pieces of the Browns as well, which is fine. But you are in a situation where you can flex a tight end here if you really need to. You're starting Herbert and Garoppolo to start the year. Kyler and Purdy could come in at any moment in the Superflex. Starting Mandrew, starting JT and Chubb. So you're also in a position where you can flex to running back. So you're starting Deontay Johnson and let's say Jordan Addison and DPJ. Then you can flex Hawkinson and Swift. That would leave you with your respective quarterbacks and Njoku, Elijah Moore, Collins, Hodgins, Evans, Gallup on the bench. It's a really interesting build. I mean, if those receivers like pop, then you're in a great position. But I don't know how high of a ceiling they're going to end up bringing. But it is a startup draft for a reason. And if you acquire the right receivers over time, could be in a very good position. What do you think about it? All right, Speezy. We got Josh Allen. We got Kirk Cousins. That's all we've got. Probably want to draft one more quarterback. Probably get a young guy in there somewhere, right? Or at least trade for one. Ingram, McBride. I'm good at that. C-Mac, Gibbs, Jacobs, Stevenson, Foreman, Evan Hull. Running backs look great. Cooper, Allen, Tony, Reed, Davis, Myers, Pierce, Hutchinson. I mean, I think, like, actually, all things considered, for going so heavy at running back and drafting 2 quarterbacks before the 7th, your receivers turned out pretty good, as did your tight ends. It's a very interesting team. So you're starting Allen, super flexing Cousins, starting Ingram, starting C-Mac and Gibbs, Cooper, Allen, Tony, flexing Jacobs and Ramondre, which leaves you with, you got Reed, you got Gaby Davis, you got Jacoby Myers, you got Alec Pierce, you got Donta Foreman, you got Evan Hull, and you got Hutchinson. I actually really like the way this team turned out, man, for going so heavy at running back early. Yeah. I'm actually okay with this team. And, like, pretty good balance. Veterans and non-veterans. You do need the third quarterback, though. I mean, I like McBride where he got him, but even if it's Garoppolo in the 13th or Sam Howell in the 12th, or I don't know. I like Jaden Reed where he got him, but Purdy wasn't available. And Tony, I don't know, but yeah, you need a third quarterback. But for what you did, I thought the team turned out pretty good, man. Definitely an interesting build. Nick, what's up, dude? We got Watson, Levis, Bennett, White. Yeah, in the Superflex format, I just wouldn't be comfortable. Like, you're starting Watson, but then, like, you need Levis to come on early, and he could very well sit behind Tannehill for quite a few games. And even once he's starting, what exactly is the product we're getting? Bennett can compete, but if Stafford's out there, Stafford's going to be the guy. You know what I mean? You can definitely beat out my guy Brett Ripien, but... And then White, like, you're just really hoping that Tua gets hurt. So, you know, your super flex spot is hurting right now. Kincaid, Schultz, completely fine. Robinson, Barkley, Henry, like, yeah. The fact that you only drafted one more running back, I don't really blame you. I mean, don't get me wrong. You should always be going for long-term depth and everything, but Bigsby, even the 14th, is nice. But, yeah. Bijan, Barkley, Henry is kind of ridiculous. In a good way. Kupp, Pittman, Josh Downs, Evans, Mims, Sky Moore, Boutte, Thielen. I like your receiver room, actually. I think you got pretty good value. The only issue really for me with this squad is quarterback situation. So you're starting Watson, super flexing Levis, hopefully. Starting Schultz, but it could very well be Kincaid. Starting Bijan and Barkley, which is beautiful. Starting Kupp, Pittman, let's say Mike Evans to start the year. Then you're in a position where you can flex Derrick Henry, flex Josh Downs, Marvin Mims, Sky Moore, Boutte, Thielen, even Bigsby potentially, and Kincaid as well. So everything's fine about this team except for quarterback, Nick. All right, let's see. Yeah, Tua definitely goes all over the board, Thomas. I guess you could trade for a quarterback, Speezy. Oh, sorry, Tommy. Have a good night, Nick. Yeah, sometimes it gets lost in the sauce, guys. It happens. Did I miss you as well, J-Dubs? I'll hit your team. Okay, let's get going. All right, Tommy, we got Pickett, Love, Ritter. Going a little bit later at quarterback. I mean, I like all these quarterbacks, but I like them more as QB2, QB3 options. I mean, if you really think Pickett's going to take that step forward, I guess it's okay. But I just don't know how high of a ceiling you're going to get at the quarterback position and superflex position with Pickett, Love, and Ritter. But like if the gamble pays off, then you're in a really good position. But even just getting like a stable piece that you know what to expect out of, even if it's not as exciting, even if it's your guy Geno, you know, or Russell Wilson or Goff, Cousins, Rodgers even. Just to get that stability, because if you have growing pains with Love, his first year as a full starter, Ritter's first year as a full starter, and Pickett in his sophomore season, then you could end up in a disadvantage on a weekly basis. You got Chig and Shoemaker, tight end. I'm okay with that. I do think that there's still going to be a little bit of a tight end, what's the word I'm looking for? Competition in Dallas. You know, I really do. Ferguson, Hendershot, they are both young guys, both age 24 going into their second season, had flashes in their rookie years. 2 touchdowns for Hendershot and 2 touchdowns for Ferguson. But the Cowboys definitely went out and drafted Shoemaker for a reason. So I think he's still like my rookie tight end 5, so I'm good with it. Walker, White, Sharps, Madison, Chuba, McIntosh. The McIntosh pick is... I would probably go with... Like McKinnon's there, Warren's there, Zeke is there. I'd probably go with any of those guys over McIntosh. Being that you already have Sharps and Walker. But I get what you're going for. CeeDee Lamb, Wilson, Watson, Pickens, Dobbs, Palmer, and Tank Dell. I think you're in a good position at receiver. So you're starting Pickett and superflexing Love. Starting Chig. Starting Walker and White. Starting Lamb, Wilson, Watson, flexing Pickens. Then your second flex, I mean, you got a number of options. Charbs, potentially. Madison, Dobbs, Palmer, Dell, Chuba. So team looks pretty solid. I would just make the notes at quarterback potentially. If the gamble pays off, you're in a really good spot. If it doesn't pay off, then you could have some growing pains, right? But other than that, I'm fine with it, man. Fine with it. All right, JW, what'd you do tonight, my guy? Fields, Richardson, Lance. Dude, that is like, correct me if I'm wrong. That is like your dream quarterback room. Quarterback room looks fine. Komet, Jawan Johnson, good at that. Dobbins, Sanders, Herbert, Singletary, Tucker, Ford. Didn't go running back till the 8th and looks pretty okay to me. Devonta Smith, Devontae Adams, Quentin Johnston, Christian Kirk, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Hyatt, John Mechie. It's a good squad. You're starting Fields, starting Richardson or Lance in the super flex. A little bit of a gamble, but a lot of upside. Komet at tight end. Get the long-term stack. Smith, Adams, Kirk, you're starting receivers. Quentin Johnston in the flex. Darnell Mooney in the flex to get a further stack with Fields. I already said Dobbins and Sanders at running back, right? So that leaves you with Hyatt, Herbert, Mechie, Singletary, Johnson, Tucker, Ford on the bench. Looks pretty good to me, man. Yeah, I like this team a lot, actually. I like that squad quite a bit. Interesting teams tonight, guys. Thomas, I always seem to get these 3 quarterbacks when I go late quarterback. Not sure where I could have who I could have sacrificed for Geno. Also got the 3-headed running back for the Hawks. Yeah, I think if you get 2 of them, you probably don't have to go McIntosh in the 18th. But I still like McIntosh a lot, so. Let's see. Man, it's tough. Guys asking for team of the night. I kind of like J-Tub's team, but it might just be really fresh in my mind. I do want to give a shout out to Speezy with the 4 RBs in the first 5 rounds. I think his team actually turned out really good. So we'll give Speezy an honorable mention for the night. And then I did like Cat's team, but it is a little dangerous flexing Hawkinson and Swift. And those late receivers really have to pop. I did like Walito's team as well, but this second quarterback makes me a little queasy. But Walito was up there tonight for sure. Walito and J-Dub's probably my 2 favorite teams personally. Cat's a really interesting build, but running back and tight end in the flex can get a little queasy. Speezy's our honorable mention. What did I do tonight? Burrow, Young, Goff. I'm okay with that. Start Burrow. That's my guy. Long-term guy. Goff is my stability piece while I see what happens with Young. Dulcich and Knox, yeah, I faded tight end too much. I almost went with a 3rd tight end for the final pick of the night. So tight end you can argue. But Dulcich I do like a lot. I still like Dawson Knox, but he's going to see a decrease in volume more than likely. Try to go a little hero RB tonight. So Eckler, Pacheco, Kendre Miller, A.J. Dillon, Gainwell, Zeke. I'm actually okay with that running back room. Drake London, Ayuk, Hollywood, Lockett, Lazard, Shaheed, Boyd. I just feel like there's something missing at receiver for me, but ultimately, I think it's a pretty good receiver room. So I'm starting Burrow, superflexing Goff, starting Dulcich, starting Eckler and Pacheco, starting London, Ayuk, Hollywood, flexing Lockett, flexing Lazard or A.J. Dillon, Shaheed, Boyd. And that still leaves me with Miller on the bench, Gainwell, Knox, Zeke, and anyone else who I don't play in the second flex. So I don't dislike this team. The Knox is my second tight end. Kind of hurts because I like Greg Dulcich a lot, but there's still some risk because we've only seen him in one season. And the Broncos, well, they should take a step forward next year, are still very bad. I had an interesting comment on one of the Underdog drafts that was going over the fact that, you know, Sean Payton, who drafted Adam Trautman, has traded for Adam Trautman, who was always supposed to be like a big-bodied pass-catching tight end and didn't really flourish into one. And he could, you know, Payton could potentially be trying to rejuvenate Adam Trautman's career, and that could affect Greg Dulcich. But I think from a fantasy perspective, Dulcich is a player to have. Then Knox gets the decrease in value with Kincaid there. But outside the tight end position, I think this is a pretty good team. I like it. X Factor says, put a mock in the Discord, Dynasty Superflex 12-team 3-wide receiver PPR if anyone wants to mock. So if you guys do want to join that, hop over on Discord, and I should be able to join after the stream if you guys still have room. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that does it for the night. Yeah. I guess that'll do it. Cinnabon. Making me feel bad, bro. I actually did like your team. I just think running back makes me a little bit nervous. I mean, I don't know. You got some really good pieces. Like Chase, Brown, and A-Chain for the long term. Monty and Cook to play right now. Receivers look great. Tight ends are fine. I just think, like, if something happens to Tua, Russ doesn't step up to the plate, could be in a dangerous situation. No pun intended with Baker and Russ on this team. But no, I did think your team was good tonight, for sure. I mean, you got Chase, Waddle, Ridley starting, Tua and Pitts, Hopkins in the flex, Juju in the flex, Monty and Cook, and A-Chain can come up. Actually, the team looks pretty good overall. I changed my mind. Senior Cinnabon, team of the night. Let's go. All right, guys, make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for being here tonight. Please hit that subscribe button on the way out. And make sure you guys check out the links down below. Follow us on Instagram, join our Discord, all that good stuff. We'll figure out what we're doing tomorrow. Probably another startup mock. Usually what we would do towards the beginning of the week. So, all right, guys. I will meet you guys over on Discord. Looks like we are going to have a mock draft running over there. And that'll do it for the night. So thank you guys for coming out. It's been part of your night here on the channel. And thank you guys for everything that you guys do. Like I said, there's a second mock on Discord if anyone does want to join. So that'll do it. Love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Talk to you guys tomorrow. If you guys need anything, let me know. And with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And